Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today I'll be showing you how to make coiled and braided text. This text style can be combined with different spline animation, as well as creating some cool looking static text images. You can do a lot of creative stuff with this node group. By the way, this node design is based on Johnny Matthews' tutorial, and I've made some modifications to fit it to text usage. So credit goes to him, and please also go watch his tutorial. I'll have the link in the description. Alright, let's get into it. As soon as we enter Blender, let's hop right into Geometry Node's layout. A to select all, X to delete. Shift A, add mesh plane. Using numpad 7 and 5, go into top worst graphic view. Click on new to make a new map. Delete group input. And replace it with string input. We'll start with single letter, so enter T. Pass it through strings to curve and output. Okay, here it is. Today we'll be turning the text into coiled chord, something like this. We'll start off by resampling with lengths of 0.01 meter, so we have more points to play with. Then realize. The original spline is necessary as a center reference, so we'll spawn a new spline to deform. To do that, branch out another resample from the text spline. Since coiled spline is going to be longer than original, let's connect a spline length point count, and multiply the original count by 8. By the way, integer math node was added from 4.3, so I'll rely mostly on that for integers. We'll join the text spline and coil spline to output them both. They should be overlapping as a single spline right now. Next, let's add a set spline cyclic and turn cyclic off. The start and end point could be weirdly contorted if it is kept to on, so I prefer setting it as off. Next, add a capture attribute and capture the spline parameter factor. I'll explain this portion later. Let's now start wrapping the coil. We'll first start off with offsetting by the coil radius. Add a set position. Then, from the text spline, grab a sample curve. Connect the spline parameter factor into factor socket. Then, vector mass scale from normal. Enter 0.01 for the scale value and connect to set position offset. This expanded amount is going to be the coil radius. Add another set position. Connect a vector rotate to position and position to vector. From the sample curve we added, connect a position to center, then tangent to axes. For angle, connect the spline parameter lengths. Make sure to use the spline parameter and not the spline length node. Insert a mass multiply. Now, the coil spline will wrap around the text when we increase this value. If you look closely though, we can observe some weird looking loops circa corners. This is due to the spline factors shifting a bit when we did the offset part. We can correct this by using the captured original factor like so. Now it looks much cleaner. I don't like how this multiply gain is an arbitrary number. So connect another mass multiply. Enter tau to the top and connect the value node from the bottom. This should now represent the wrapping amount per unit length. Entering 10 means 10 turns per 1 meter. 50 per meter looks something like this. We got the coiling part done, but let's expand on this idea. We can achieve a braided look by coiling multiple splines. To do so, let's add a duplicate element node after the set position. Change the domain to spline and connect a value node to a mount. I'll just set this to 2 for now. Next, connect the mask divide from value. Then Alt S to switch sockets and enter tile for the top value. Mask multiply from the result and multiply by the duplicate index. Connect the mask add and add it with the bottom result. Now we have two splines coiling at an offset. We can have as many splines we want if we change the duplicate amount. Alright, little cleanup. We no longer need the center spline we used as reference, so I'll delete these nodes. For convenience, let's select these nodes and Ctrl-G to group them. I'll do some more cleanup, along with turning some values into arguments. First, this multiply value. I'll call this resample gain. Next, the scale value. This one, offset radius. This duplicate amount, I'll call this coil count. Lastly, this wrapping amount. I'll just call this twist per length. There should be a total of 4 arguments. Exit out with tab. I'll rename this group Make Coil. And little cleanup. I'll just set the parameters like this for now. Now that we are done with single text spline, let's add a for each element node to repeat for multiple splines. Change domain to spline and reconnect. Go back to the string input and enter test to view full word. Lastly, we want to turn them into mesh. Add a set curve radius, then curve to mesh. Use a curved circle for profile curve. Resolution of 8 should be enough. Alright, here it is. It looks like a retro phone cord from 1990s. If you want it to weave or braid it, adjust a parameter like this to achieve the look you like. We won't be making any materials today, so let's quickly go over the nodes. Here's the top. Here is Make Coil node group. This combination of vector rotate and set position is very useful if you want to twist or turn points. I've shown it in past with swirling text, but it's quite simple if you get accustomed to it. So, this is how you can achieve a coiling braided text style. You can instance some spikes to maybe make some barbed wire text. Or layer the Make Coil to create some yarn looking text. This can be combined with any kind of spline based text animation as well. I hope you get a chance to play around with it. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.